Boston, the National League's unbelievable baseball race nears its fingernail-biting finish as the New York Giants meet the Boston Braves. The Giants, tied for the league lead with Brooklyn's Dodgers, appear headed for the pennant as Monty Irvin singles in the fifth, chasing home Captain Alvin Dark with the Giants' third run, the tally that eventually means a 3-2 victory for manager Leo Durocher's amazing team. When the spine-tingling ninth finally ends with Boston's rally cut off, the crowd races onto the field to mob pitcher Larry Jansen. Hardly a month ago, 13 and a half games out of first place, the Giants have had to win 37 of their last 44 games. Now, Jansen's victory today has apparently clinched the pennant for New York, for the Dodgers are at this moment 3 runs behind down in Philadelphia. But in Philadelphia, the game isn't over. The Dodgers, having spotted the Phillies a 6-2 lead, refuse to quit. 3 runs in the 8th tie the score, and under lights, the game goes into extra innings. In the 14th, Jackie Robinson swings, and the crowd goes wild. It's a homer for Robinson, who only a moment before had kept Brooklyn alive with an impossible diving third-out catch with bases loaded. 4.5 hours after it started, the most exciting baseball game of this, or perhaps any season, ends in the Dodgers dressing room. Manager Gresson thanks Hero Robinson, and the Dodgers, once so far ahead in the National League that no one gave any other team a chance, prove their reach to a playoff with a courageous, dramatic comeback that adds new luster to the game of baseball. Sudden death for Giants and Dodgers in the third and final playoff game for the National League pennant. The Giants trail 4-1 with 1 out and men on first and third. Dodger hurler Don Newcomb pitches. Whitey Lockman connects, and it's a solid hit in this, the greatest baseball thriller of all time. Dark scores. Mueller stops at third, and Lockman goes into second. With just 2 outs standing between Brooklyn and the pennant, the Dodgers still lead 4-2. Ralph Branca replaces Newcomb on the mound. The excitement reaches its peak. Bobby Thompson up at bat. Branca throws, and then it happens. The most dramatic moment in all baseball history. It's a home run and a pennant for the New York Giants. Watch New York manager Leo Durocher go into delirium at left screen. Teammate Eddie Sankey runs to hug Leo as 3 runs score to give the Giants a 5-4 victory. The greatest reception of all awaits home run hitter Thompson as he comes home, while Leo and Eddie tumble down with glee. Bobby Thompson is carried off in triumph, while almost overlooked in the excitement, the losing Dodgers walk sadly into oblivion for 1951 at least. On August 11th, the Giants, 13 and a half games out of first place, weren't thought to have a chance in the world. But in a heart-stopping stretch drive, they caught Brooklyn, tied them for the season, then beat them in the playoff. The team that wouldn't give up is series bound.
League celebrated its 50th anniversary. The New York Yankees clinched the American League pennant in the final week of a topsy-turvy season. And the New York Giants staged one of the most courageous and dramatic pennant stretch drives the game has ever seen. On August 11th, they were 13 and a half games behind the first-place Brooklyn Dodgers. Then the Giants, inspired by manager Leo Durocher, with a fighting spirit that recognized no odds, won 37 of their last 44 games to gain a permanent tie with Brooklyn on the final day of the season. The Giants won the opener of the playoff series, then dropped the second game. Now it's the third and final game. The Dodgers' Don Newcomb is opposing the Giants' Sal Maglie. In the 8th, the Dodgers lead 2-1 and have runners on first and third when Andy Pafko hits one that's too hot for Bobby Thompson to handle. Duke Snyder scores and Jackie Robinson moves to second. Then Bill Cox slams a hit into the left field corner, scoring Robinson, and the Dodgers lead 4-1. Last of the 9th, same score. Giants at bat. Alvin Dark's on first. Don Mueller drills a single past Hodges, moving Dark to third. Whitey Lockman smashes a double to left field. Dark scores. Arriving at third, Mueller injures his ankle, and he's carried out of the game. Lockman's double drives Don Newcomb from the mound. Ralph Franca relieves him. Clint Hartung is in to run for Mueller. 2 runners on base, 1 out. The Giants trailing 4-2. Bobby Thompson up. Franca's first pitch is strike 1. Here's the second pitch. And it's gone into the lower left field stands. A stunning clutch hit, 3-run homer for Bobby Thompson that echoes around the world and wins the National League pennant for the New York Giants. Pandemonium breaks loose in the shadow of Coogan's Bluff. The Polo Grounds is a little world gone mad as Thompson's homer writes an incredible fairyland finish to a breathless and fantastic flag race without duplication in the annals of baseball. This great day for the Giants and their hero Bobby Thompson is a storybook climax of their never-say-die pursuit of a seemingly unreachable pennant. And the lion's share of the credit goes to their manager, Leo Durocher, who never admitted defeat in their spectacular rags-to-riches rise to the pinnacle of National League championship. Frenzied adulation and excitement permeate all Manhattan as Durocher and his fighting Giants get ready to meet the New York Yankees in the World Series. Gigantic Yankee Stadium is just 3/4 of a mile across the Harlem River from the Polo Grounds, so the entire series will be played in a square mile area of New York City. It's the 14th World Series for the Giants, the 18th for the Yankees. 5 times these teams have met before in World Series competition, and the Yankees have a 3-2 edge. In his 3 years as Yankee manager, Casey Stengel has piloted them to 3 American League pennants and 2 world titles. Stengel and the Giants manager, Leo Durocher, meet before game time. The Yankees' ace right-hander, Allie Reynolds, will open on the mound. During the final week of the season, he pitched his second no-hit, no-run triumph of the year. Opposing Reynolds will be southpaw Dave Karslow, who was a vital factor in the Giants' dazzling stretch drive for the pennant. Among the Giants' most illustrious rooters is Mrs. Leo Durocher, known to millions as movie star Lorraine Day. Another enthusiastic spectator is Ford Frick, High Commissioner of Baseball. Also on hand is the new National League president, Warren Giles. William Harridge, president of the American League, is out to root for his side in this classic Battle of the Diamond. League rivalries are silenced for a few minutes, and the great multitude in Yankee Stadium stands reverently united, all attention turned to the raising of the Stars and Stripes. The umpires clarify the ground rules, and the official starting lineups are exchanged. Commissioner Ford Frick throws out the first ball, and the game is officially started. After retiring the first 2 Giants, Allie Reynolds walks Hank Thompson. Monty Irvin slaps a clean single into right field. And Thompson goes into third. With the game only a few minutes old, the Giants are threatening. Whitey Lockman is the batter. He slices a drive that bounces into the left field corner stands for a ground rule double. It scores Thompson and puts Irvin on third. Now Bobby Thompson, the Giants' pennant-clinching hero, is at bat. Here comes Irvin, and he's safe. Monty Irvin is the first World Series runner to steal home in 30 years, and the 7th in series history. The Giants lead 2-0. After 1 out in the Yankee half of the first, Hirozuto burns a base hit off the glove of Alvin Dart. Then Hank Bauer blasts a tremendous drive to left, where Monty Irvin stabs the ball an instant before it clears the fence and robs Bauer of a 2-run homer. That's 2 away and brings up Joe DiMaggio. He pops a high, looping fly to short right center, where speedy Hank Thompson makes a running, sprawling catch to retire the Yankees. In the Yankee second, McDougald hammers a hard drive into the left field corner for a two-base hit. Then Jerry Coleman bloops a Texas leaguer in short right field, where Hank Thompson bobbles it, and McDougald scores on the error. Now it's Giants 2, Yankees 1. That score still stands on the top of the fifth with only one out, when the Giants spark plug, Monty Irvin, finds one he likes and belts it into right center for a triple and his third consecutive hit. But he fails to score. Allie Reynolds retires the next two batters in order. In the Giants' sixth, Wes Westrom pulls a low-line single past third. With one out, Dave Coslow sacrifices Westrom to second. Stanky works Reynolds for the 3-2 count, then walks. That puts runners on first and second as Alvin Dark comes to the plate. He sees one he likes and fouts a line drive far into the lower left field stand. It's a big 3-run homer for Dark. It scores Westrom and Stanky ahead of him and gives the Giants a substantial lead of 5-1. After Hank Thompson walks, Monty Irvin gets his fourth hit in his first 4 times at bat. That ties the record for hits by one batsman in a World Series game. Thompson moves to third, but there's no further scoring in the inning. The Giants continue to lead 5-1 in the last half of the ninth. Dave Coslow has pitched brilliantly all the way. He runs out the string on Jerry Coleman, then walks him. Big Johnny Mize, pinch batting for Joe Collins, pops to Dark. Gene Woodling bats for relief pitcher Tom Morgan. Coslow fires a call third strike past Woodling, and it's 2 away. Then Mickey Mantle lifts a high fly to Willie Mays that ends the ball game at a 5-1 win for the Giants that gives them an important 1-0 lead in the series. The men of the hour are Giant hurler Dave Coslow, who had complete control of the game all the way, and Monty Irvin, who had a day at bat in the field and on the bases. That was one of the best individual performances a World Series game has produced. The triple decks of Yankee Stadium are being thronged by 66,018 spectators to witness the second game. Among them are Del Webb and Dan Topping, co-owners of the Yankees. Horace Stoneham, head of the New York Giants. And the St. Louis Cardinals' brilliant star, Stan Musial, 5 times a National League batting champion. Yankee southpaw Ed Lopat, who pitched 21 victories during the season, will go on the mound against the Giants' big right-hander Larry Jansen, who collected 23 wins for the year. Mickey Mantle opens the Yankee first with a drag bunt. Jansen makes a great try for it, but takes a tumble as Mantle beats it out. Phil Rizzuto follows with another bunt and beats it out. Lockman throws wildly to Stanky covering first, and Mantle races to third on the error. The next batter, Gil McDougald, loops a single into short right field that scores Mantle, and the Yankees lead for the first time in the series. After 2 outs in the Yankees' half of the second inning, first baseman Joe Collins lofts a floating homer into the lower right field stands. The round trip is Collins' second hit of the series and gives the Yankees a 2-0 lead in the game. It's the Giants' 7th. Hank Bowers in right field for the Yankees. Leading off, Monty Irvin bangs a single straight through the middle for his 6th hit of the series in 8 trips to the plate. Lockman is the next batter up. He singles to center. Irvin holds up at second. Mays follows with an attempted sacrifice, but Brown nails Lockman at second. Mays beats Rizzuto's throw to first, and Irvin pulls up at third. With only 1 out and the tying run on base, Westrom walks, loading the bases. Hank Shens comes in to run for Westrom. Bill Rigney bats for Hank Thompson. Rigney gets hold of one and smashes a sacrifice fly deep to Bauer. Irvin scores and Mays moves to third. Now the Giants trail 2-1, and Lopat is still on the spot. Then Ray Noble, batting for pitcher Jansen, pops up a foul that Yogi Berra gathers in to end the rally in the inning, with two Giant runners left on base. Clint Hartung is in right field, Ray Noble is catching, and George Spencer is pitching for the Giants. Bobby Brown opens the bottom of the eighth with a single to center. Billy Martin runs for Brown. Collins is thrown out by Bob Thompson. Then Ed Lopat rams a base hit through the center. Martin tallies. The Yanks lead 3-1. Giant ninth. Jerry Coleman's at second for the Yanks. Irvin leads off with a one-base blow into left center field. That makes 7 hits for Monty in the first 2 games. Lockman follows with a grounder to Coleman that forces Irvin at second. Willie Mays wraps a grounder to deep third that forces Lockman at second. And Ed Lopat, who has pitched fine ball all the way, is 1 out away from victory. Then Clint Hartung smashes a bounder to Collins, and Lopat takes the toss that rewards him with the second World Series victory of his pitching career. Lopat allowed only 5 hits and 2 walks in the Yankees' 3-1 conquest over the Giants. The series is all tied up. The scene of action moves across the Harlem River to the Polo Grounds, in the lee of Coogan's Bluff for the 3rd game. 52,035 fans, the largest crowd ever to witness a World Series game in a National League ballpark, are gathering in the Polo Grounds. Today, DeRosa is depending on the good right arm of big Jim Hearn against the Yankees' veteran right-hander, Vic Raschi, a 21-game winner during the past season. To Mrs. John McGraw, widow of the immortal Giant manager, goes the honor of throwing out the first ball at the Polo Grounds, and the game is underway. Leading off in the Giants' second, Bob Thompson drills a hit through Brown's legs. It's a 2-base hit for Thompson. Then Mays drives a single into right field that scores Thompson. And the Giants take an early 1-0 lead in the ball game. The Giants' 1-0 lead still stands in the bottom of the 5th frame. After 1 out, Eddie Stanky walks in a full count. Dark's the next batter. And there goes Stanky. He's caught stealing second, but kicks the ball out of Rizzuto's glove into center field and continues to third on the 2-base error. When play is resumed, with the infield drawn in, Dark drives a base hit straight away into center field, scoring Stanky. And the Giants have a 2-0 lead. Hank Thompson smashes a hit-and-run single into right field that moves Dark to third. Monty Irvin bangs a sharp one to Brown. Dark is called out at the plate. But Berra drops the ball. Umpire Paparella reverses his decision. The error tallies run number 3 for the Giants. Hank Thompson went to second on the play. Irvin's on first, still 1 away. Whitey Lockman is the batter. He gets set and rifles a low-line drive into the right field stands. Lockman's homer scores Thompson and Irvin ahead of him. Whitey tallies the 5th run of the inning, and the Giants have a commanding 6-0 lead. Lockman's 3-run blast is the end of the line for the Yankee hurler, Vic Raschi. Bob Hogue comes in to take over on the mound. and retires the next two batters. Going into the eighth, the Yanks still trail 6-0. Rizzuto, the first man up, is hit hard on the right forearm. Gil McDougald then rams a base hit into center field. Rizzuto holds up at second. There's one away when Berra taps a slow roller. Hearn has to make the play at first, and both runners advance. Bobby Brown walks to load the bases. Collins works Hearn for a 3-2 count, then walks, forcing Rizzuto over the plate with the first Yankee tally of the game. This eighth pass, issued by Jim Hearn, brings DeRocha from the dugout. Sheldon Jones is called to the mound, and Hearn takes that same long walk that Rashi took a little while ago. When Jones shuts the door in Bauer's face, 3 men left in base, and the Yankee threat is over. There's one away in the Yankee ninth when Gene Woodling takes his stand in the batter's box. Jones pitches, and Woodling hammers a well-hit drive that clears the right center field wall. Woodling's round trip is the second Yankee homer of the series. After the second out, Gil McDougald follows to Lockman to end the game in a 6-2 victory for the Giants as they take a 2-1 lead in the series. This is the Polo Grounds on Sunday, October 7th. A desolate diamond drowned under torrential rains, and the prospects of another record-breaking attendance went down the drain. The next day, the sun smiles down from a cloudless sky. It's perfect baseball weather. Always on the alert is the excellent press corps, so vital to the color and scope of baseball, the cream of our country sports writers who report the World Series story to millions of fans back home. The Giants' pitching chore will be in the hands of their tall right-hander, Sal Magley, who won 23 games during the season. Stengel will start with Allie Reynolds, who is making his second appearance on the mound for the Yanks. In the Giants' half of the first inning, there's one away when Alvin Dark smashes a drive off the left field corner wall for a 2-base hit. On the second out, Dark advances to third. Then Monty Irvin steps up to the plate and clouts a single for his 8th hit of the series. It scores Dark, and once again the Giants take an early lead. Lockman is up. Irvin breaks for second. Rizzuto leaps to grab Berra's throw, then comes down hard. Irvin's out as Rizzuto completes a dazzling defensive play to nip the Giant rally and close the inning. Gene Woodling opens the top of the second frame with a little blooper that falls just inside the left field line. And it's a 2-base hit for Woodling. McDougald follows with a slow roller to Bob Thompson, who boots it. McDougald is safe on the error. Woodling holds second. Then Bobby Brown uncorks a mighty blast that sends Mays ranging far back to haul it in. He slips and falls hard when he tries to put on the brakes, and Woodling jogs easily to third after the catch. McDougald holds first. When Joe Collins lines a base hit into right field, Woodling tallies a tying run. It's 1-1. There's no further score in the inning. With one away in the Yankee fourth, Bobby Brown wraps a grounder to deep short and beats it out for a base hit. Sal Magley runs out the string on Collins, then loses him, and Brown moves to second. There are 2 strikes on Allie Reynolds when he furthers his own cause with a single to center. It scores Brown. Reynolds is caught in a rundown between Dark and Lockman and is tagged out. The Yanks continue to lead 2-1 on the top of the 5th. Yogi Berra, the second man up, punches a base hit into right field. DiMaggio comes into the batter's box. Magley gets set. Joe connects with a solid blow and clouts a mighty two-run homer into the upper left field deck. It's his 8th round trip wallop in 10 World Series. Berra scores ahead of Joe, and the Yanks go out ahead 4-1. It's their biggest inning in the series so far. Now it's the Giants' half of the 6th inning. Alvin Dark comes up again. He cuts the corner of third base with his 3rd consecutive double of the game, all into the left field corner. This is Dark's 7th hit of the series, and for the 2nd time in the game, he's left stranded on second base. The Yankees still hold their 4-1 lead in the top of the 7th. Sheldon Jones, who replaced Magley in the 6th, is on the mound for the Giants. Scooter Rizzuto leads off and bangs the first pitch for a base hit. After 2 outs, Woodling walks, and Rizzuto moves to second. McDougald is up. Westrom throws to Stanky and traps Rizzuto way off second. Stanky's throw bounces off the Scooter as he arrives at third, and he races home to score run number 5 for the Yankees. Woodling went to second on the error. Then Gil McDougald wraps a single to left. It drives Woodling home with another run that increases the Yankee lead to 6-1. That score still stands going into the last half of the ninth, which Hank Thompson opens with a walk. Then Monty Irvin connects with his 9th hit of the series. Thompson holds up at second. After 1 out, Bob Thompson drills a hit past McDougald into the left field corner. It scores Hank Thompson with run number 2 for the Giants. Irvin goes to third on the play. Then Willie Mays bangs into a double play for the 3rd time in the game. This one erases the Giant threat and ends the contest in a 6-2 triumph for the Yankees. Allie Reynolds went the distance to turn in a fine pitching performance. For the 2nd time, the Yanks have fought from behind to tie up the series. Rogers Hornsby, one of baseball's all-time great batting champions and new manager of the St. Louis Browns, talks with Gil McDougald. The Philadelphia Athletics manager, Jimmy Dykes, chats with Yankee coach Bill Dickey. On the mound, it'll be Yankee Ed Lopat again opposing Larry Jansen for the 2nd time in the series. In the Giants' half of the 1st inning, Alvin Dark larrups a single into left. It's Dark's 8th hit of the series. Then Monty Irvin steps up to bat and hammers out his 10th hit of the series. When Woodling fumbles it, Dark scores all the way from first. And once more, the Giants are off to a fast start. They still lead 1-0 in the top of the 3rd. After 1 out, Jansen walks both Woodling and Rizzuto. Berra slashes one to Lockman that forces Rizzuto at second. Woodling takes third in the play. Then Joe DiMaggio singles to short left, scoring Woodling. Irvin kicks the ball around. Berra goes to third, and DiMaggio to second on the error. With first base open, the big Yankee veteran, Johnny Mize, is purposely passed to get at rookie Gil McDougald. The bases are loaded. 2 men are out. McDougald rises to the challenge. And there it goes. A mighty 4-run blast into the upper left field stand. This crushing blow is only the 3rd Grand Slam home run in all of World Series history. McDougald is the first rookie ever to do it. Now the Giants are on the short end of a 5-1 score. In the bottom of the Giants' 3rd, Alvin Dark bangs out his 5th hit in his last 6 times at bat and his 9th of the series, but he's left on base. Now it's the Yankee 4th. Monty Kennedy has replaced Jansen on the mound for the Giants. Woodling's on base with a walk. Scooter Rizzuto is up. He punches a drive that barely clears the wall just inside the right field line. It's a 2-run homer for Phil as the Yankees surge ahead 7-1. The Yankees made it 9-1 in the top of the sixth. In the last half of the sixth, the Giant star, Monty Irvin, singles for his 11th hit of the series. He needs only one more to tie the all-time series record. The Yanks collect 4 more runs in the seventh and go into the ninth with an overwhelming lead of 13-1. Now it's the last half of the ninth. After 1 out, Irvin hammers a mighty drive into left center, where Woodling robs Monty of his powerful bid for that record-tying 12th hit. Then Whitey Lockman wraps a high hopper to Rizzuto for the final out. And the Yankees have routed the Giants 13-1. It's a splendid victory for pitcher Eddie Lopat. His second 5-hit triumph gives the Yankees a 3-2 edge in the series. The series moves out of the shadow of Coogan's Bluff and back to Yankee Stadium for the crucial 6th game. The entire baseball world is tense with excitement. Casey Stengel and coach Frank Crosetti talk things over with Ed Barrows, the former Yankee executive. Manager Stengel is counting on Vic Raschi, who lost the 3rd game, to come through today and close the series. Manager Leo Durocher hopes to tie up the series again. He's pinning his confidence on southpaw Dave Carslow, who won the opener. In the Yankees' first inning, Jerry Coleman singles sharply to center. Berra follows with a smash that hits the right field wall and bounces back so fast that Coleman is held at third. But Berra's in there at second with an extra base. When Joe DiMaggio takes his place in the batter's box, he sets an all-time World Series record. This is his 51st World Championship game. Veteran Joe is purposely passed to get at Gil McDougald, and the bases are loaded. When McDougald flies to Mays, Coleman scores, and this time it's the Yanks who take the early lead. There's no further score in the inning. After 1 out in the Giants' 3rd, Raschi walks Dark. Lockman follows with a grounder to Rizzuto, who forces Dark, then doubles Lockman at first. Mays opens the top of the 5th for the Giants. Mays takes 3rd after catch. Eddie Stanky unleashes a blast that chases Woodling back before he gathers it in. Mays tallies after the catch, and the ball game is all tied up at 1-1. That score continues into the bottom of the 6th. There's one away when Yogi Berra slashes a base hit into the right field corner. Thompson bobbles it. Berra races to second on the error. DiMaggio draws an intentional walk. McDougald is at bat. Carslow lets loose a wild pitch, and both runners advance. It's the first Yankee threat since the opening frame. McDougald hits a hunchback drive to Thompson that fails to help the Yankee cause, and it's 2 away. Carslow gets deeper in the hole when he walks Johnny Mize, filling the bases. The last Yankee hope in this inning rides on every pitch as Bauer works Carslow for the full count. All 3 runners are on the move, and there it goes, a tremendous blow that just misses clearing the left center field fence. Berra, DiMaggio, and Mize cross the plate. Irvin finally gets the ball, and Bauer hauls up at 3rd with a 3-run triple, a crushing blow to the Giants as the Yankees forge ahead 4-1. Bauer fails to score. The score remains unchanged, and Johnny Sain, who relieved Vic Raschi in the 7th, is on the mound for the Yankees when Irvin opens the Giant 8th with another try for his 12th hit, but Woodling steals it from him. There are 2 away when Sain runs out the count on Hank Thompson, then loses him. Westrom follows with a Texas Leaguer that falls safely for a single. Davy Williams runs for Westrom. Then Mays works Sain for ball 4, and the bases are loaded. With a tying run on base, Ray Nobley comes up to bat for pitcher Jim Hearn, who replaced Dave Coslow in the 7th. It's strike 2. Strike 3, cries umpire Ballantyne. And Johnny Sain retires Nobley with 3 pitches to kill the Giant rally and leave 3 men on base. In the Yankee 8th, Larry Johnson is pitching when Joe DiMaggio leads off with a powerful line drive between Mays and Thompson for a double. McDougall bunts, and Johnson's perfect throw nails Joe at third. The Yanks still lead 4-1 going into the crucial 9th inning. Stanky opens it with a base hit down the third baseline. He moves to second when Dark beats out a surprise bunt. And the Giants have a rally going with nobody out. Lockman wraps one towards right, and it's in there. The bases are loaded. Still nobody out. Stengel decides to remove Johnny Sain, and pitcher Bob Kozava makes his first appearance in the series. The great throng is abuzz with excitement. Monty Irvin is the next batter. It's the most crucial moment of his career. He still needs that 12th hit to tie the all-time World Series record. He wallops a long, hard fly ball to Woodling. Stanky scores after the catch, and the other runners advance to second and third. With 1 out, 2 men on, and the Giants trailing 4-2, their pennant hero, Bud Thompson, comes to bat. There it goes. But Woodling hauls it in. Dark scores after the catch, and the Giants still have the tying run on base. Manager DeRocha sends catcher Sal Evars up to bat for Hank Thompson. Evines the first pitch to right field, where Hank Bauer saves the game that he won with his triple. In one of the most dramatic, spine-tingling World Series finishes ever recorded, the Yankees defeat the Giants 4-3 and take the series 4-2. The irrepressible National League champions fought it out all the way. Hard-hitting seesaw battle where, in many spots, one base hit could have swayed the balance and reversed the victory. The Yankees had to fight from behind twice in the series to climb up and win their 14th world title in the last 31 years. Proud Casey Stengel has managed them to 3 world championships in 3 consecutive years. And thus the record book closes on 1951, one of the most brilliant and thrilling years in all the exciting history of baseball.
Have you ever wondered how these fellas got to the top in the game? What it takes to make the big leagues? Well, let's ask a man who started a good many young fellows on the way to fame. What do you say, Mr. Mack?
The question often put to me by many young men and boys is, how can I become a big leaguer? Boys, my advice to you all is to play some sport while a youngster. You know the sport realm has one rule that governs all athletics, and that is fair play. Those of you who have the ability in baseball and will take time to practice can develop into real big leaguers. First of all, you must have some natural ability and like the game. Secondly, you must practice continually and put some real spirit into your play. Baseball has changed a lot since I started in 1884. There are many future Major League stars playing today in American Legion Junior Baseball, countless amateur leagues, high school, and college baseball, all of which offer rare opportunities for young players to get a start in baseball. In closing, let me say to you, it is the little things, the details that win the close ball game. The things that make good ball players are physical ability, brains, courage, and good habits.
And take it from Mr. Mack, that's all you need to be a good ball player. Any boy who's got the makings will find the big leagues eager to help him along. Many of the professional baseball clubs have training schools, especially for the younger players, where they can learn the fundamentals and develop under the watchful eye. Big leagues want good young players. They're searching for players in every town and in every corner of the country. And if you have the makings of a big leaguer, they'll find you no matter where you are. The catcher is the field general of every ball club. And without doubt, catcher Bill Dickey is one of the most valuable players in the major leagues. There have been few, if any, better catchers in the history of baseball. Here's the proper position for the glove and hands when signals are given. Always conceal your signals from the coaches. Holding the glove as a mark for the pitcher is a good suggestion for young players to remember. Receiving the pitch on his left, Dickey shifts with his right foot only when it is necessary to make a throw to the bases. It is essential that the catcher shift into his throwing position the instant before receiving the pitch. The stance behind the plate is important. In taking your position behind the plate, keep the weight forward. At this point, the left foot is advanced somewhat ahead of the right. In throwing, the arm should never drop below the waist and never be raised higher than the head. A straight overhand throw with speed and accuracy should be practiced.
Here is a message from Hilrick and Bradsby Company, makers of the famous Louisville Slugger bats. Light wood does not have the swing power of heavier wood. It is important that players who want light bats should use shorter lengths to get added driving power and swing speed. Many Major League batting stars are now using shorter length bats for a number of reasons. 1, more driving power. 2, better service than lighter, longer bats. 3, better balance. 4, faster swing speed. The Louisville Slugger bat manufacturers recommend for the younger player in particular bat lengths of 33 and 30, made of close-grained, more solid ash. Like this Ty Cobb model, and Ty did all right for himself, winning the American League Batting Championship 12 times, 9 in succession.
From the scorching swing of the pitcher's arm to the split-second power of the batter's wallop, only 60 feet, 6 inches separate the nerve centers of baseball offense and defense. Here's where ball games are won and lost. Well, here's the first step in batting, the grip. It's very important not to apply pressure to the grip until just the instant before the impact of batting the ball for flexibility. Greenberg makes sure to keep his eyes on the ball from the time it leaves the pitcher's hand until it crosses the plate. Wham! Another safe hit. Using a spread of the feet that measures 24 inches, holds the knees fairly stiff. He takes a stride of about the same distance. The right knee is bent as the ball is hit, swinging against a firm left leg. A perfect follow-through finishes the swing with his weight balancing on the toe of the right foot. This is correct form in batting. Let's see how it looks from back here. The head is held rigid. The bat is off the shoulder. Both arms and bat away from the body in position to hit. Watch what happens just before the swing. The hands drop even with the belt for more momentum and power. At this point, the bat is pointed upward and back over the rear shoulder. so that its own weight coming down from this position helps to speed up the swing. Coming through to meet the ball, Hank's bat is well out in front. The weight has been shifted forward, but not until the ball is hit. The follow-through is completed with a force that swings Greenberg completely around. Hank Greenberg stands over 6 feet 3 inches and weighs better than 200 pounds. He takes the stride just a split second before the swing, which allows the batter to be in a position to properly time the pitch should the speed of the ball be changed. Hank is looking directly at the ball as it hits the bat. Keep your eye on that ball, fielder. It's going for a long ride. Here's a stylus, and we'll let the slow-motion camera show you the form that has brought so much hitting success. It's a closed stance with the right foot about even with the front of the plate. He starts to open up as he strides forward. Note again the stride takes place between. Those strong wrists have a whip in them. Notice the action of the hips, meeting the ball out in front of the plate, proper shifting of the weight. All of these are vitally important fundamentals that all good hitters follow faithfully. Watch Rudy York, powerful slugger of the Tigers. Eyeing the pitcher carefully, he strides forward, a split second before the start of the swing. This is a necessary fundamental, which enables him to obtain perfect timing when the speed of the pitch is changed. Here he is, the Yankee clipper, Joe DiMaggio. He stands at attention with the bat resting on the shoulder, waiting on the pitch. As he moves forward, the arms begin to slide away from the body in order to keep perfect freedom of movement. The bat is held parallel with the ground as he hits the ball, with the left forearm kept fairly straight for added driving power. In order to obtain perfect coordination, the foot action must synchronize with the action of the rest of the body. The feet are spread comfortably apart for even balance and distribution of weight. DiMaggio bends his right knee as he hits the ball, at the same time working against a straight left leg. This acts as a brace as he whips in fast to meet the ball with the arms and bat. At the finish of the swing, we find him spun completely around on his right foot, with his weight leaning on the outside of the left foot. This complete turn is caused by the speed of the body pivot. The bat is balanced as it points back over his right shoulder. From this position, it begins to sweep forward to meet the pitch. Here's a fine sample of perfect timing. The bat is practically the exact distance behind the plate as the ball is in front of the plate. This kind of timing calls for keen eyes, speedy wrists, and strong forearms. Follow these lines that show the perfect arc which takes place in the swing of a champion hitter of the American League.
Behind every champion is championship form. The Yankee clipper is a perfect power machine. Nothing is held back. Every swing is in dead earnest, aimed at the bleachers. Joe's wide stance and short stride are unusual for a long hitter, but are perfectly molded to fit his particular hitting style. DiMaggio exemplifies another batting angle. By waiting longer on the pitch, he gets an additional fraction of a second to wait out the break of the ball. The stride takes place before a rather short swing. There is no wasted energy and little movement until he hits the ball, meeting the pitch out in front of the plate. The swing of the arms is backed up by a fast body pivot and a complete follow-through.
The next man waiting to take his place at the plate is the young, slugging Red Sox outfielder, Ted Williams. Watch this fast wrist action as Ted takes a few warm-up swings before stepping into the batter's box. Here's how the good hitter times himself, waiting for the pitch. The arms are away from the body. The bat is off the shoulder. The elbows remain close to the body until he starts to swing. Then the arms start downward and away from the body. At this point, there is plenty of effort extended by Ted as he starts his stride to prepare himself for timing and power. The bat is kept parallel with the ground as the ball is hit. And to complete the swing, his hands are high above the shoulder. This is a characteristic of most home run sluggers who are uppercut swingers like Ted Williams. And now to show how it is really done in big league fashion, Ted starts one on a tour to other lands.
Williams is a stylist with a form perfectly adapted to his type of power hitting. His chief assets are powerful arms and wrists with a snap of steel. Ted is known throughout the league as a good ball hitter, taking many pitches while waiting for a pitch to his liking. He swings across the plate once for freedom of movement and then gets set for the pitch. Now he steps into a pitch. The finish of his swing finds arms and bat high above his head. Here's another angle showing the left elbow cocked for action. The stride forward is a split second before the swing. Right leg held firm, the left shoulder lowered, and the right arm straightened out as he meets the ball. This all adds up to keen eyesight and perfect timing. And here are the two superstars who cannot be matched in the baseball today. Ted Williams and Joe DiMaggio are worthy representatives of American League Baseball.
This production is presented with the compliments of the American League, its managers and players. We'll be back again next year with another thrilling behind-the-scenes description of baseball